This Advent meditation includes readings from Jan L. Richardson's Sacred Journeys, a woman's book of daily prayer. The music at the end is sung by Alison Krauss. It's finally here. Christmas Day is almost upon us. The Christ child is soon to be born, and the wait is coming to an end. Waiting. We have so many ways of waiting, but waiting for a birth has a lot of common experiences surrounding it. Mothers become very restless in the last weeks of their pregnancy. There is a phenomenon that I'm sure many of you have experienced: nesting. Yes, I remember that in the week before my son arrived, I was washing walls. His crib was ready, and Winnie the Pooh was waiting for the new Christopher. And I needed to wash the paneling. Really? Did I? Yes, I had to prepare my nest. I noticed that a lot of people started their Christmas nesting early this year. I started to complain because I'm one of those who prefer to keep the season a little shorter. But then I realized that it was not only nesting, it was a reaction to the virus. And people wanted to do something normal and beautiful. It is a way of letting the world know that no matter what is going on, we are still able to create beauty as we await the birth of Christ. Mary probably nested. Unfortunately, her nesting was somewhat for naught, as she found herself in labor on the way to Bethlehem. Can you imagine getting the cradle and home all ready and then suddenly finding yourself giving birth in a barn, a stable? Our creches look so nice and comfy, but I'm going to assume that a stable was actually a little more dirty and crowded than we imagine. Here is a poem by Anne Johnson from her book, Miriam of Nazareth, that speaks of the joy found in that stable. Magnificat of the stable. My soul rests confidently in the animal warmth and the lantern light of the simple place. Yahweh, and my spirit rejoices in the privacy of this time of birthing we share with you, O God of creation. For you come again alive again tonight in the blood and water of your people. Yes, this is the time we have waited for. This is the moment of blessing. Holy is birth, and you shall show yourself from age to age and those who enter into creation with you. You have shown the power of a dream enfleshed, and we are humbled. You have pulled down all our strivings and lifted up the simple common moment. This stable is filled with good things, new life and happy people. Are those in the inn rooms satisfied? You have come to Israel, mindful of our shared nature, according to the promise of Eden, and mindful of our nature to seek the wisdom of new life together as we walk the earth. During the Christmas season, I often think of the unmentioned women who were present at the birth of Christ. I imagine that the wife of the innkeeper found clean blankets and provided warm food and water. And someone must have gone running for the midwife. Men were not usually present at the birth of a child in those times, so a midwife and other women were probably found to assist. This poem from Jan L. Richardson is in the voice of the midwife speaking to Mary. Join me in this meditation, which ends with a short essay by Jan Richardson. The Midwife's Song. The inn is shut against the cold. All the guests are warm inside. But from the hearth so crowded, I could hear your birthing cries. So little can I give you, some strips of cloth, some firelight. But young one, you have greater needs as you labor through this night. I cannot take your pain, but your body I have worn. To its core my flesh remembers. the ache of new life's being born. We'll share our strength, my sister, born from ages of women rise, wives, till all creation joins the song, born of your birthing cries. Human birth is a bearing. In spirituality, this places before us the questions of what we are bearing in our spirituality. It poses the question of what are we willing to bear for the sake of transforming ourselves and the face of the earth. Birthing would say we bear bodilessness, enfleshment, new life, passion, emotion, and feeling, blood and water, labor and pain. Birthing would teach we bear human selves and remind us that genuine spirituality always leads in this direction too. The giving birth to our own selves and to other selves for the sake of one another is giving birth to dreams and customs and spiritualities that make life human for all people of the world. Birthing would remind us that every new creation means the entire universe must be ready to shift and make room. It makes midwives of us all. Birthing would teach finally that we are called to give birth to the God waiting to be born from us. That we are, in Master Eckhart's description, mothers of God, for God is always needing to be born. And that's from Maria Harris in Dance of the Spirit, the 7 Steps of Women's Spirituality. Mary was probably very grateful for the presence of the women who came to her aid. She may have hoped to be with her cousin and mother for the birth of the child. But the people did show up, and when the child was born, Mary was very grateful. This child was already a miracle. She may have felt joy along with trepidation as to what the future would hold for this child and for mankind. Let us continue to pray for the miracles that come from the presence of Christ in our world with this Psalm of Giving Birth by Miriam Teresa Winter. What will we bring to birth in the world of the new creation? Wisdom and justice, peace and compassion, concern for all God's little ones, for the homeless and destitute, the hungry and all who bear the brunt of indifference and oppression. Women, what will we bring to birth on the earth of the new creation? A deep respect for our planet, its windsong and its waters, its topsoil and its forest, and a oneness with the wilderness that is the image of our soul. Women, what will we bring to birth in the church of the new creation? A total disdain for power that diminishes or destroys, divestment of wealth and status, a sharing of human resources based on mutuality, and the sudden surprise of grace. Women, what will we bring to birth in the hearts of the new creation? An unbreakable bond in the spirit that binds us as one, all brothers and sisters, transcending class, color, and culture, religion, race, and gender, that treats no personal preference, no physical or spiritual difference as aberration or handicap. One has been born among us who heralds such liberation. Human liberation, women's liberation, people's liberation have taken flesh among us, and the Spirit dwelt with us. Holy the woman who helped this happen. Blessed are we when we give birth to the Word made flesh in us. There's so much in the world that can take away our peace and hope. Let look to this time as our chance to remember that Christ lives with us each and every day of our life, that our waiting need not be a trial, but can be a time of hope, knowing that God is working with us in each moment. And finally, another poem by Jan L. Richardson, Thanksgiving. And on the night in which Mary delivered, she placed her hands over her round, full womb and whispered, "Flesh of my flesh, this is my body, which I willingly open to you. May you always remember to feed on the bread of integrity." In the same manner, she whispered, "Child, you share my blood. Freely shall I shed it in bringing you to birth. May you always remember to drink deeply from the cup of wisdom." Oh, Mary, we remember these gifts and we join our hearts to you in rejoicing. Glory to the God of generations, for heaven and earth have met in the womb of a woman. Peace to all who bring forth the Christ. Peace to you, God-bearer, God-birther. May you create with integrity and wisdom. May your creating connect you with all who labor to bring forth a new creation.